Nashville. So we moved to Nashville. Yeah, it's awesome. We've got 2 kids, so it's great. Anyway, so I also helped organize PodCamp in Nashville a couple weeks ago, and I presented this presentation there, so hopefully I'll not screw it up. So what is Twitter? Start basic here. Twitter is a service for friends, family, coworkers to communicate and stay connected through the exchange of frequent answers to one simple question: what do you do? Huh? According to Wikipedia, Twitter is a social networking and microblogging service that allows users to send updates, tweets, and 140 characters or less to the Twitter website via short message service, instant messaging, or third-party applications such as Twitterific. In other words, it's permission-based stalking. One of my favorite quotes from it. So, how do you get started? It's easier than you think. And I don't work for Twitter.
Neither do I.
What's that?
Neither do I.
Yeah. So, to begin, really, you go on the Twitter main page, twitter.com. You click the Join Now button. You choose a username that you're going to keep. Don't change your username around because it's like changing your own name. It's kind of weird. And don't change your image very often. You get to choose a profile picture. You don't want to change that too often because your picture is your brand, really. If it's a product, whatever. But typically in Twitter, it's a headshot, right? If you change it too often, what's going to happen is as you get more and more followers, which I'll go on, your timeline gets longer and longer. There's more and more pictures. And you don't always see the names so much as you identify with that picture. So if you change it suddenly, it's like changing your brand, changing your logo at your company or something, where people get confused and they may not recognize you. So this is what I use. It was a total thing on a lark, and so I've been using it ever since on everything I do. Now, having said that, I do make some variations to it from time to time, like Christmas, Halloween. That's a scary one. International Talk Like a Pirate Day, which is in September. I can't remember the date. Fervent Peace for Breast Cancer. What's that? Nice, dude. Sweet. There's actually, and then you got to be careful what you wish for, because people keep doing that to me, and they're like, "Hey, Dave, huh?" It's funny. So say hello to Twitter. I was going to go on and write hello on Twitter and so I could show you guys in real time, but I think most of you are using Twitter now, and the Wi-Fi in this room kind of sucks. So this is from PodCamp Nashville as an example, and this is a screenshot of the PodCamp Nashville Twitter page. And we had a hack. I don't know why I'm mentioning this, but we had a hack where you could put in. I think somebody set it up here, I thought, but I didn't see it working. Where you could put PCN, PodCamp Nashville, before any tweet, and the PCN page would aggregate it all. So you could go that one page and watch everybody's tweets.
It's now POD.
It is POD? Is it working?
Yes.
Okay. So on Twitter, write POD, and then anything you're tweeting, and that'll go right on the PodCamp Toronto page, which is PodCamp Toronto. So why Twitter? According to Compete.com, Twitter's U.S., and this is U.S. numbers, it's a U.S. presentation, but U.S. number of users is currently 520,000. I've heard 700,000 recently.
Wow.
Now, it's not a lot, but, Twitter's still a baby, really, when you think about it. And Facebook's like 62 million right now. So, it's got some growth, but, you're all early adopters, that's why you're here. Each month it grows by 10.7% on average, which isn't bad. Each year, it grows by 3,031%, which means that it's going to grow a lot and quickly. And Compete.com, I actually took a screenshot of it in the way here. December 06 when it started, and that's December 07 now. And you can see it going. This was, I believe around here was South by Southwest in Austin, Texas last year when Twitter was really, people started jumping on it. And something interesting too, I use the U.S. number. Japan is the #1 country using Twitter. Taiwan, Spain, the U.S. is the 4th. But Canada's the 8th. So, I give you numbers like 700,000 or whatever. That's in the States. So I don't know.
Is that because of telecom costs?
To be honest, I don't know. I mean, Japan. They tend to get on tech stuff a lot faster than we do. And with SMS, yeah, I'm sure you're right. It's the same thing with Europe as well. Right? We're just totally behind the times with SMS stuff. Who uses Twitter? So 75,000 unique visits per month. The site's popular among more educated audience. The typical visitor subscribes to New Yorker and reads Real Clear Politics, which is a cool site. The gender, look at this. The gender is really cool. It's like male and female. It's almost equal. It's actually a little more females using Twitter. Age groups, I fit into that demo. 35 to 44 is the highest. Household income, 100,000 plus. I'm not in that one. But I'll take donations. I got to pay off. Head of household education, college grad students are the most. So the three main ways to use Twitter is, the main things you want to do with Twitter is build community, share news, and promote. Promote yourself, promote whatever you're doing, right? I should note that like the three some of this stuff kind of goes back and forth into the same categories because they kind of intersect a little. So build community, follow others and they will follow you. Search for keywords of interest and follow those people. I'm going to walk through this stuff. Use the active will always be frequent on your replies as well as your tweets, which is your post. This is my buddy Marcus Whitney, and you'll see the follow button. And who wouldn't want to follow Marcus, man? Look at that. He's a great guy. So you hit follow. And then he gets an email notification to let him know that I'm now following him. And you can choose to follow me back, or you can choose to ignore him. Luckily, he's following me. And then the timeline on all these faces on the right are people that are following me, or no, people I'm following. Some of them. There's actually about 600 that I'm following. But it's a cool thing too, because you can click on the picture. If the picture looks interesting, what I was talking about the picture before. If you see a picture that looks interesting, you're like, there's CC Chapman's logo. That's cool. CC's on Twitter. Or you'll see like really hot person. Yeah. Like I can see. Yeah. So it's kind of cool. The Ask an Indian dude, if you don't know about that. So on the building community, search for keywords of interest and follow those people. So in this case, I searched. TweetScan is a pretty cool service. Tweetscan.com maybe. I have links on this site. Nashville music. So you can search like Nashville music, and then it'll produce tweets with those words specifically. So you can actually start following people that are looking at similar things that you're into. I'm not really into Nashville music. I like some of it. Okay, use the askable, as I said, always be frequent. And so these are replies back to me. And by hitting the replies, and you use the askable, and that tells Twitter that you're writing back to me. So I can see that reply, and I can hit in reply to Dave Delaney and actually see what we were talking about, because sometimes it gets a little confusing. Hard to keep track. Twitter.com, Matthew Evil. Matthew Evil, how many people here know Matthew Evil? Okay, not a lot, okay. Matthew's, he's a singer-songwriter guy out of Nashville. He's now moved to Boston, the social media mecca. And Matthew's like a really cool guy. He's really jumped on new media. He uses everything online to promote himself. He sells all his stuff online. He has concerts online constantly. And really great guy. Whether you're into his music or not, he's a really interesting guy to follow. So I asked him, we did a little interview, and I asked him about, how fast people started following him on Twitter. He said pretty quickly, given how many of my fans are new media types, all it took was a little announcement on my blog, and on Twitter, 100 or so showed up, which is pretty sweet. Then when those fans started replying to me, that tipped off their contacts who knew about me. Heck, that's how I found out about Henry Rollins and Will Wheaton, through replies. Do you see other people? So if you see me saying something very strange to Adele, then you're going to be like, what the hell is she talking about? Click on Adele. She just asked me something interesting or something. Oh, I'm going to follow her because she's talking about something cool. So, and Henry Rollins. Yeah, that guy's using Twitter. Henry Rollins. I'm an old school punk rock guy. I love it. So anyway, Henry Rollins. There's other popular people. Tom Petty's using Twitter. Today Show. It's funny with Today Show. They I got an announcement that Today Show's following me. So I tweeted to them. And I said, I need an iPhone, and they haven't returned my call. Obama's using it. Robbie Gordon is a NASCAR driver. Obviously, this is the Nashville presentation. Run DMC, not all, of course. Beastie Boys, Ron Paul, and even Stephen Colbert. That's one of my favorite tweets. So my second section is about sharing news. And and sharing news from your blog. So you can auto-post your blog post to your Twitter account, and it's really cool. So you use the Twitter Tools plugin, and I don't know about other blog hosts, but in WordPress you use one called Twitter Tools. And what that does, and I kind of cut this out of the timeline, but you can see new blog posts, new signal available for podcasters. There's a link. You click the link, and it takes you right to his blog. There's the post, new single available for podcasters, and it automatically does this. So every time he posts something on his blog, it goes there, and which is great. And he's a big PodSafe music guy too. So and then I asked him about how he works, how he uses it. And he said, when I post a new video or blog entry, it sends out a tweet with a link. That usually gets a few people to read instantly, whether they're on my RSS feed or not. It's become yet another way to subscribe to my feed, basically. When he's playing a show online on Ustream or something, or in Second Life, his fans know instantly because he posted it on his blog. And he actually said a little story about a badly planned game with Boston last year, where nobody knew when it was supposed to start, and then he went on Twitter when they figured it out and tweeted all the fans, and everybody showed up, and everything was good. Which really Twitter is so fast. That's one of the best things about it. So you can get breaking news. I've gotten a lot of breaking news stories on Twitter before mainstream news was even covering the story. It's amazing. Like there was an earthquake in, I think it was San Diego or San Jose last year, and I got all these tweets about it. I clicked on the news, flicking around, nothing, and then it came up. So breaking news on Twitter is hot. It's crazy. Sharing news. And also a big thing about Twitter. Sharing news is not simply to promote something you have for sale. It is to share interesting news stories, blog posts, podcasts, videos, etc. So my point to that is that you might be promoting yourself. You might be working for a company or something, but use Twitter to engage people and carry on conversations, not to just push crap in their faces. Because you do that, and everybody's going to stop following you pretty quickly. And you can use tiny. I don't even know what they're called. URL shorteners, URL shrinkers. I don't even know if there's a word for them yet. But there's all these services like TinyURL and Snurl and like a bunch of them that you can automatically shrink a URL. You have 140 characters in Twitter. You can't put a massive URL. It's not going to fit. Like think about Google Map URL. Forget about it. So this is a funny bit because I click on this story and then it opens up the browser and it's a funny story from The Onion. But no Wi-Fi, so let's skip that bit. So this is an example of that, right? This is a story from The Onion that's hilarious, really long, and then it automatically makes that URL small. So, and then for my blog, you can see the peaks every time every time I post and it goes to Twitter, you can see the peaks there. Not every Twitter. Twitter is my second highest blog traffic thing, but getting people to my blog stuff after people searching specifically. And then promotion. Network with like-minded people and promote yourself. Build your personal brand and meet others by keeping tweets short. It's difficult, like I said, it's difficult to add DS when you only have 140 characters. And it's true, and it promotes two-way audience engagement. So really, what I'm saying with that is that it's hard to bullshit in 140 characters. So you end up really being yourself on Twitter, whether you like it or not. And plus.
And you can say that on.
Exactly. Yeah. Some companies are using Twitter in a smart way. Southwest Airlines do stuff from time to time. They've got a pretty cool blog as well. So this is just an example of what they did. Real kind of viral sort of thing. But 16th Street, they had staff members in red fleeces handing out free tickets to places and stuff. So it was a cool idea. And then, shameless promotion for the Nothing Show, the podcast I referred to before. Dave, Tim tweets. Tim Coyne and I teamed up. Tim Coyne's from the Fire podcast, if you're familiar with that. And we came up with this kooky idea of doing a podcast called The Nothing Show. And basically, I take a Twitter user at random. He chooses somebody at random. We print 5 or 6 of their most recent tweets, and then we do a podcast, 10-minute podcast conversation based only on those tweets. So we can't steer away from those tweets. We have to use the tweets. That's the rule. And it comes from, I usually do improv. I trained with Second City and did improv and had an ongoing thing. And Tim's an actor and he does improv too. So there's an old improv game that some of you might know called sentences, where the audience members write lines of dialogue on pieces of paper, and you crunch them all up, and you throw them on the stage, and then you create a scene around those pieces of paper. So it's sort of based on that game. And the same deal. When we have a new episode available, battery.
We've got 10 minutes.
Oh, you don't want to wrap up with that.
Mac. Get your batteries right. iPhone. Fix the iPod first. Sorry. Pisses me off, man. My iPod lasts like a year. Anyway. I am a convert, though. There's free. So yeah, TweetScan is, I mentioned it before. Oh yeah, so it's davidsterry.com/tweetscan, but I think he's got the URL now. Well, here's an interesting thing to do. Go on TweetScan. There's other services you can do this too. Search for your name spelled wrong. What? And so I searched Dave Delaney without the EY. And look at this. People actually were sending me messages that I was missing. So I'm like, shit. So that way I can reply to them. But I mean, they're like months ago. So I realized, even J, man, spelled my name wrong. Yeah. And what's cool too is you can create a link to that, but even better, you create an RSS feed. So you pop that into your Google Reader, and you don't have to do this anymore. You can. So identity search variations. Same thing, like do your name in two words. If you have a first name and a last name in your Twitter name, like Dave Delaney. Sometimes people will write you a message directly. Even with the @ symbol, but with the space. So @Dave, lucky guy with that, gets to see my tweets, but he doesn't, Anyway, that's my point. So, it's kind of cool. This is where I was going to go back to the, oh no, it's not, sorry. Use jot.com. Jot is so cool. If you haven't used it yet, it's badass. Even if you don't use Twitter, Jot, what you can do with Jot, it's free, you call it, you leave a message, and it transcribes your message and emails it to you. So when you're driving, and you're listening to podcasts like Mitch Joel's, or CC's, or Julian, or whatever, and you hear like a good tip about an artist, or a marketing tip, or whatever, shit, you're not going to write it down driving, I hope. Although in Toronto, you probably would. I'm not going anymore. 401. But yeah, so you can do that, and it transcribes it. What's really cool is it's set up now so you can blog with it. So you can say an audio message, and it'll transcribe it on your blog as a blog post. And it works with WordPress, and it works with Blogger, maybe others. And same deal with Twitter. So I can tweet, and so I did this. I called the number, which it doesn't. There's a different number in Canada. So I called Jot the other night to say something on Twitter. And it didn't work for me here because it's set up in the States. So yeah.
Just a question. I know about the Jot thing. If you use it for notes instead of Twitter. But I mean, percentage-wise, don't you think? The more effort you ask for a user, they're going to click less than they would just read the thing. So isn't it kind of a waste if you're trying to brand and you're trying to increase the number of people that follow you to be doing things like Utters or Jot? If only a percentage of the people are going to click through, and other people are just going to see an annoying link that they don't want to click.
Yeah, but most of the time with Jot, I don't even drop links. I never drop an actual link. I just do a tweet. So I'm just saying a message.
It transcribes it literally.
It literally transcribes it. So
so Utters, we have a problem. Jot, not so much.
Yeah. So Jot, I think Jot. A good example of that was I was at the Podcasting New Media Expo in Ontario, California, which sucks compared to Ontario, Canada, which rocks. And I say that all the time. Can't canoe in Ontario, California. But so when I was there, I was going to In-N-Out Burger, which they got us there. So good. And I jotted, going to In-N-Out Burger if anyone wants to join me. And then I saw the transcription, and you have to be careful because how you pronounce words, right? It switched. It said internet. Going to internet. Want to join me? People wrote me back. maybe John knows me better than I know myself. It was just bizarre that happened. Mitch Joel was Mitch Jewell. So which is weird.
From Twitter, there's a question. from Todd Mapp, and he wants to know what the best desktop apps for Twitter are. I imagine for Mac.
Snitter.
Yeah, I love Snitter. That's what I'm using now.
It's Canadian.
Twitter,
as well.
and it's Canadian too. Yeah.
I like Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed that point. What's the best what?
It's it's like a desktop application, so you can actually you can work in your browser on the side. But you can actually this little application that comes up. It's really fluid. It's beautiful,
okay.
and it's like a timeline. It's like a mini timeline,
Right.
but it's on your desktop, so it sort of announces you when you post things.
Also, not to interrupt, Linda Mills, who's listening in from Twitter, suggested that if you're getting an account or making an account, to have short names. And short names are very useful and effective.
In your username,
Yeah, in your username.
yeah, for sure. That's a good Hi Todd. Hi Linda.
I was going to say he wants to honor you.
Yeah. Hi Todd.
And Todd says your presentation's awesome.
Oh, thanks, buddy. For those who don't know Todd, he's the best dude. ToddMappy.com. Check him out.
I believe Jot.com is limited time for free accounts. So
Yeah.
If anyone wants to sign up, they better do it soon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
And they just came out with numbers across the country, so you don't have to dial a long distance or something. So in Canada, there's like 20 new numbers now that come out. So
they're all local,
doesn't matter where you are. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Which is great. Yeah.
So can I just clarify that being a new? So on Jot.com, it actually recognizes your voice. It's not
Right.
like you have to.
You have to set it up a little. There's a little bit. Well, you go on the website and you set it up a little bit, but yes, it recognizes your voice. You say you can actually jot to other people and leave them messages if you choose to do that. I don't really use it for that, but I get them from some people. But if I say me, it's set up so you say it says who do you want to jot, and you say me, and it says okay, and then but it's a different woman.
But then it translates and goes into a Twitter feed.
Right.
Or
right in
your email.
Awesome.
Yeah. So like I had the phone. We just had a tornado in Nashville, and I was wondering why the hell I moved there. And and it's just cold here. That's not a big deal. And die. Well. Yeah. Yeah. But no, so the tornadoes came through, and so I went on Jot because I wasn't getting on the computer or anything. I mean, just to let people know what's going on. And I saw actually the other night I was driving home from work, and I saw a guy about to jump off an overpass.
Oh.
They had the whole highway closed off on the other side. The cops were there. There's people talking him down. And I drove past. I'm like, holy crap! And I got on my phone and I tweeted it because if you're driving, first of all, you don't want to be anywhere near there. But also just like, does anybody know what happened with him? Because obviously he was driving. I wasn't going to stop. I mean, I was on the other side of the highway. And then a friend of mine in Nashville who works for a local television station saw it, and they started reporting it. Like from my tweets, like I was mentioning before about how instant.
So what happened to the guy?
I don't know. I don't know what the. I don't know what the. They reported, but I don't know the end of the story. I think he was coming down. It looked like he was sort of coming down slowly, because but.
So not to that ignorant. So you just is there an 800 number you call for this job? Okay.
Yeah, but like Cyrus was saying, there's actual local numbers now too in Canada. In the States, it's like a 1-800 number.
But you can call toll free.
Yeah, it's free.
Yeah.
I mean, your minutes.
Oh, yes, I know your minutes on your cell phone.
Twittergram is another example of what I was mentioning, which you can actually upload an MP3 file, and it's cool too. A little more labor. Another quick tip is you have badges. Twitter generates them, or you can tweak the code yourself if you're into that. So there's a nice little flash line, and this is the timeline of your friends' conversations, including yourself, and that's just text. I put it on your blog like Matthew Evil does, so you can make an announcement or whatever. I have it on my blog, so if anyone's interested, they can click through and get to the blog post or get into Twitter and comment. The TwitBin is another cool one for Firefox, which it's a plugin on Firefox that actually gives you a sidebar. So the fluid ones are a lot cooler, the Ajax stuff, the air stuff, but that's still a pretty cool thing to do. So you can actually, while you're working or surfing, you can follow the timeline there. And so this is Twitter Vision, and if it works, it'll be cool.
Platform.
Yeah. So okay. So it's working. So what this is, it's just kind of What's cool is this is real-time tweets happening right now. She's in Texas. He's in Ohio. And then, but it's not just here, right? Oh, okay. There's a lot in the States happening. But what's cool is it'll just scroll across the map. I'm relaxing to enjoy. There you go. So there's some of these things. And it travels like all across the map. And so it's kind of fun. It's just, there you go. So it's kind of cool. So, yeah.
What's that address? Twitter what?
Twitter Vision.
Twitter Vision. Yeah.
Those aren't people following you. They're
No, there's just everyone. Yeah, it's just anybody using it. So yeah, any questions?
I've got a good question here from Michael Allison over in BC, and he via Twitter, and he says that you mentioned Obama and Colbert as the real tweeters, and he didn't think it was actually them. And also on top of that, like, is it actually them, and do they engage if you engage them?
I know John Edwards was actually apparently really doing it. I can't answer that. I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not.
The Obama one is managed.
Is it?
It's BarackObama.com. That's the signature across all of the different social tools like Flickr.
Okay.
It's the same call sign.
Right. Okay.
And it's managed.
Okay. So there you go.
I'm not sure why Dave Fleet isn't asking this question himself because he's sitting in the room, but through Twitter he's asking how you maintain the balance of promoting your brand and contributing to the community.
Well, it depends. I mean, no. I mean,
That was like half an hour ago.
Say that like
15 minutes ago.
my brand is my brand, like my personal brand. Or
You asked him, he's sitting right there.
Well, you actually wrote, you tweeted.
Yeah, I was over the other side.
Sorry, I thought it was. I'm really hungover.
Well, I'm
give me a break.
interested to know the answer.
Yeah. So, man, sorry. Ask the question again.
No, the question I was asking, I mean, it's easy to cross that line between like pimping your stuff and becoming part of the community. So how do you keep that balance?
Well, I'm not selling anything. I'm a blogger. I'm a podcaster. My podcasts are free. My blog's free, obviously. I'm not really selling anything. I've started to do some consulting, but just started it. I've been using Twitter for a year, so but I've just started doing that because so yeah, I mean, it's all about community. I mean, that's why we're all here. That's why I'm here. That's, and relationship building. And so, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's bad. Like I said before, you don't blatantly try to sell crap, because, like I said, people just stop following you. But
can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
People should sign up and even try and do that just to get a feel. Like, everything in Twitter is about your community.
Yeah.
And the people who you care about will tell you.
Yeah.
Like,
You're right.
That they'll say, hey man, I don't really want this, or they'll start unsubscribing, or they might make comments. And that's what I found in Twitter. Everything I've learned about Twitter is in the experience of using it. Because I was like everyone here, I had no idea what it was about.
Right.
And it wasn't until I started using it and finding a couple of core people who were friends that I knew in real life who used Twitter, and I started seeing how they were using it, and it helped give me a better understanding of how I was using it.
Just really quickly, there's a Twitter back, like that just happened. A Twitter back channel, like a lot of conferences and unconferences that you go to now. And at Gnomedex last year in Seattle, it was mind-blowing to see it going on because people were like, everybody was talking on Twitter in this room. There was like 350 people. Every page was Twitter on every computer. It was insane. And there was this major back channel conversation. I shouldn't put that in. But what's really interesting with that, I mean, yeah, people were saying this is conference spam or he's trying to sell crap or whatever. There's some negative stuff. But then there was a speaker who was talking about green initiatives and that kind of thing. Environmentalist, he's an environmentalist talking about green initiatives, basically. And he wasn't really saying it clearly, like me just now. He wasn't really speaking that clearly. People weren't really quite understanding. This back channel started happening of people sending links to like really cool green websites and services and things. And so it was a really positive side of it too. So it was kind of almost helping the speaker without even realizing it was happening. So yeah.
You mentioned for the Mac, there's some programs that you can actually do fluid Twittering.
Yeah.
What about for PC?
We were just talking about that.
Spinner works on PC too.
Spinner does?
Okay.
Yeah, it uses Adobe Air, and it's exactly the same on the Mac and the PC.
Yeah. Yeah, Spinner's really cool. It's a really nice layout. It looks good. Yeah, and it's Canadian. So support your local.
Actually, if you go to the twitter.pbwiki.com, it's the Twitter fan page. there's a whole listing of, and you can link to it from the PodCamp Toronto web wiki now. There's a whole page of applications that are available, and they've got it categorized by platform.
There's a link from it from the Twitter blog as well. If you go to twitter.com or blog.twitter.com.
And also, everyone's tweets, at the end of the tweet, it says what they've used to tweet it, whether it's text or
you're right.
And generally what I've found over using Twitter, if I see a couple people using this other interface, Twitterific or whatever, it's 2 minutes.
You're going to check it out.
Test it out. Or I'll send them a direct message, hey, what are you using? What the hell is this?
Yeah.
And then you get more.
And if you see me say something really bizarre, I look and you'll probably see it came from Jot. I just transcribed it for you. So, Julie?
In relation to the way to keep contact and keeping contact with various circles of people that you know, there's this amazing post right now on darmano.typepad.com. It talks about the inner circle, the middle circle, and the outer circle. And basically, he says on how the inner circle, most of them, you talk to them already all the time.
Right.
And then the middle circle, you're conversing or listening to their shows or maybe something like that. You read their blogs. But the outer circle, maybe you don't follow them as much, or they're people that you met once, but you're following on Twitter and whatever.
Yeah.
It gets you to keep in contact with those people and make the relationship closer than it would be otherwise.
That's cool.
And so basically, you're already following the center people because they're your core friends or whatever.
Yeah.
And you got the middle people, and the outer people you're like peripherally involved in. You may not know much about what they do. They may not know much about you, but you can make that relationship with that much larger group of people closer, because Twitter is the only way that you can follow so many people at the same time.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Can you tweet that link?
Yeah.
Can you tweet that link, please, Julia?
No.
Julie, can you add a tweet? Can you tweet that?
Yeah,
that
tweet
link?
the URL. Sure.
Yeah.
So is it good to have two almost identities? One saying it's you, and then one saying it's your brand or your podcast or your blog?
This has come up, a little bit. And I mean, like I said, I have one set up for I work for a company called Emma, which is an email marketing company in Nashville. myemma.com, shameless plug. But it's honestly an amazing company. And they've hired me as a new media specialist, which they actually are smart enough and get it and actually hire me to do this stuff. So I have it set up so that on our blog, when we have a new blog post, paid a lot of money. And we're not selling stuff in the blog. It's more like tips and tricks and email marketing and that kind of thing. So and we have about I think 30 or 40 or 50 people that follow us, follow the tweets from Emma. So and that's a business, and but it's fine to do it. Just understand that like people don't get disappointed if people aren't following you because you're trying to sell Coke or whatever the hell it is. So, I'm not going to follow people that are trying to sell stuff.
No, but if you want to separate yourself, say you have an identity between it. I'm just me, I'm out there, let's chat away.
Yeah.
And then you want to have a brand that's saying that it has the logo of your podcast or something, and more of...
But is your podcast you?
It is, yeah.
Do you want to be associated with your podcast? Then do it through yourself. Yeah. Or change. If your podcast is all you do, and that's what you want people to know you for, or that's what you want to promote, then call the user account the podcast name, if you can fit it. 2 boobs and a baby plus. But use that name and do that. I know people that do.
My only concern is when you suggest the picture thing, not changing pictures.
Yeah.
If you don't change pictures, but say you have you make a logo for your podcast, then you're going, well, what do I use? My picture, which is my personal? I do use a logo which I can keep and probably not change.
There's nothing wrong with using a logo, and especially if your username is a name of a show and not a person's name.
Yeah.
Like CC Chapman's a bit of an exception, obviously, because like everybody knows CC, and if you don't, you should. He's great. CC Chapman. CC underscore Chapman.com. Check out CC. But so in most cases, I think it's fine to use a logo for your name if you want. It's just understand that it's a conversation happening on Twitter, right? So if you're looking at someone's face, it's a hell of a lot easier to have a conversation with them. So it might be better doing it that way.
Just to address that, there's a woman named Ann Handy who who has a marketing blog called Marketing Cross. She's got a Twitter account. The username is Marketing Cross. She was using the Marketing Cross logo, but it was her doing the tweeting.
Mm-hmm.
Last week she changed the
I saw that,
picture to a picture of herself, and she asked her Twitter community, what do you think? Do I go with the logo or do I go with me? And overwhelmingly the response was, go with you, because we all know it's you talking. We're talking to you. We're not talking to the brand.
Yeah. And Marketing Props is great, by the way. That's well worth. And they actually sponsor. They just started sponsoring a great podcast called Marketing Over Coffee. So they get it. They're obviously getting it. Yeah, they just started.
So the username is Marketing Props, but it was her picture.
Yeah.
So you could do a combo.
And to that point, I mean, as someone who's can count the number of hours probably since I registered. Part of what I'm saying is the value is exactly this sort of scenario, and if it's my logo, I'm not walking around with my logo on my face, whereas because an extended community that you're trying to keep in touch with and keep up to date with is going, oh now I remember you. Whereas my logo you're not necessarily going to remember.
Right. Yeah.
And it is the personal marketing if it is your personal business.
Yeah,
and that's what strikes me, just as like the guy has no anything.
Yeah, and you know what? Like if you, most people, a lot of people know that I work at Emma because I talk about Emma so much. But because it's a cool place and a cool service. So, Julian once asked me, "Did you work there, or do you own that company?" And I'm like, "No." He's like, "What the hell, man?" Like, because I talk about it so much because it's a cool place and it's good people.
I'm surprised you haven't really heavily used an Emma Twitter channel at all.
Yeah. Well, I just have the account set up to auto post for the blog, but. It's. We're very careful with branding, and I'm not the person who writes the copy, and so I don't.
What about the? I've always found like in terms of getting in contact with people in the blogosphere, etc. It's sometimes difficult to get in contact personally with higher ups, like A-list or blah blah blah, quote unquote.
Yeah.
So sometimes you'll put yourself in a situation where it'll be difficult to get in contact with them. I found that the easiest things is number one, obviously, to leave comments and be known as a heavy commenter on blog X where there's a ton of traffic. Sure. You slowly get to know the person and respond to the comments on the blog. And then number two, anybody will basically follow you on Twitter as long as you're not spam.
Right.
And as soon as you are followed on Twitter, you can direct message somebody. And so these are two channels that you can use to get closer to somebody who generally would be more difficult to approach.
Yeah.
I've used it multiple times,
and
it's worked really well, and it's led from Twitter into email conversation, and then into reciprocal kind of like faith. So I'll help you out here, you help me out here.
Yeah,
I'll never be able to do it.
I didn't really touch on that. It's a really good point. I didn't touch on DM direct. You can do direct message, which is like a private message. So that's out of the timeline, which it's a simple. You can see it says direct message. You just click it, you can send that user message.
Yeah, piggyback on Julia's comment. I'm going to name drop her a little. It's funny, but I was trying to figure out how to put the map look here, and I asked Jane to Twitter it. Like, why did I Within 2 minutes, Shell Israel wrote back the answer. It just shows how put you in touch with somebody who you may not know in real life, but you connected with and have a relationship with.
Yeah. But most of my closest friends are on Twitter now. Anyway, I love it. It's like I love it. I'm creeping up to my 6,000. That's hard to say. 6,000. Well, I can speak. Anyway, 6,000 tweets almost, which is freaking me out.
Yeah. I was very new to this, and Adele, I'm Adele's sister, and she asked me to come because I've been so frightened of this media.
Yeah.
Mostly because I was hearing all this, bad stuff about Facebook, and I'm just really, really nervous.
Sorry.
But what's really interesting is that what I'm hearing is that honesty and integrity is paramount, and if people get any kind of inkling that you are not being real, that they will cut you off. And I would think this would make a very, very interesting sociology study to see about how people are learning about emotional intelligence and manners through this media. And that really excites me.
Yeah,
emotional intelligence, if you don't understand how to treat people or be with people, you're lost. I don't care how smart you are.
Yeah.
You won't make it.
And then with Twitter, you can be really shy and kind of whatever, introvert or whatever, and you can go on Twitter and tweet comfortably from your own home or wherever you are on your mobile device or whatever. But and you start making friends on Twitter, and then we come to events like this where the friends become real friends because we're hugging each other and slap hands and get drunk and all that. Don't drink.
But I wanted to make that comment because I came from such a place of just terrible fear.
Yeah.
And being here has just really turned me around. Yeah. But I wanted to make that comment just from
and go to these events. And if you don't, and for people watching this elsewhere, whatever, set up your own stuff. Set up your own podcast. I mean, it's easy to do. I did it in Nashville. I did a bar camp in Nashville as well, and now I'm doing Geek Breakfast. And all this stuff is free. I got sponsors on board to pay for stuff. So the Geek Breakfast thing, we meet once a month. Go to meetup.org or upcoming.com for free, or Facebook, set up a group through Facebook, and just a local group to organize stuff. Sorry, man.
Also, one thing that just before with Twitter, there's a level of transparency that a savvy employer might also find, retrieve, or search for. Do all the things we do as social media people or as internet people.
Yeah.
Some employers do, so you may want to be careful.
Behave.
Yeah. You might not go on your blog
right.
and diss somebody on your blog because you think it's inappropriate. You have to be careful with your Twitter.
Yeah.
There was a PR guy who dissed someone on his Twitter thing, and then all of a sudden it became a real life issue. I've never said except that PR guy because he dissed someone in Twitter.
Like I said, behave. I mean, we should all be doing that in everything we do online and in reality too. In the flesh. Yeah, don't. I mean, I had an incident recently with somebody posted a blog post that kind of pissed me off, and I was going to write a comment. I actually started it. We talked about this in another session. I started actually writing it, and I was like, whoa, wait a second. And just decided, you know what, forget it. There's a lot of instigators out there too online. It's easy to post.
Yeah, but they won't last.
They won't last. Yeah, and somebody actually posted something really negative about Emma. And the guy, I know the guy. Anyway, it's a different story. But he wrote something really negative about Emma, and I was going to write back something, and then I thought, leave it alone. And then the next thing I know, there's 12, 15 comments on that post saying, Emma's actually really cool. And all our customers started writing this guy saying, you're a jackass. It's actually really, they're a cool company and stuff. So, people will take care of it. All right, well, another question.
There's one phenomenon that I'm seeing between Twitters and blogs where basically people stop writing blog posts and just,
microblogging.
It's just Twitter. Maybe they're just using the wrong tool, but to me it just seems like that cheapens Twitter and the blog at the same time. But to stop writing a blog or taking the time to write a blog and just tweet digests instead of blog posts.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and actually I had that problem because when you install Twitter tools in WordPress, it gives you a daily report of all your tweets, but it posts it as a blog post.
That's annoying.
And you can turn it on or off. And I had it on, and I was thinking, well, this would be good for SEO stuff. But then I thought I actually put the question out there and a vote. I put a little vote on my blog to say, leave it on or turn it off. And Bob Goyage was just like, dude, you got to get that off. It started getting crazy. But it's either on or off, right? So I found a really cool thing thanks to Briper, who's another new media guy. He's great. His blog, and he has a plugin called Categories, and it's awesome. And what it does is that you can still post. So now this thing is still generated on my blog. It's just not viewed. You can't see it. You can search and find words within my tweets on my blog, but it's invisible. But it's still appearing, and it's great. So you can actually hide different things. So for SEO stuff, it's great. So any more questions? And I'm gonna probably wrap up. Okay. I'll be around if you guys have any. Thanks.